The town of Esperanza Falls sleeps uneasily beneath a blanket of mist. Every year, on the night of October 31st, when jack-o'-lanterns flicker and the church bells toll midnight, a sound rises from the river, a low, mournful wail that chills even the most skeptical hearts. The locals call it La Llorona's cry, though few admit to believing it. They say it's just wind through the canyon or coyotes howling on the Mexican side of the border. But the older folks, they lock their doors, whisper prayers, and leave bowls of water by their windows for the weeping one. For Sofia Morales, 17 and restless, the cry isn't just a ghost story. It's a memory. 10 years ago, when she was just a child, her mother vanished near that same river after claiming she heard a woman calling her name. The police said she drowned, but they never found a body. Now, every Halloween, Sofia returns to the banks of the Rio Esperanza, hoping for something, a clue, a sound, a sign. This year, she decides she won't face the night alone. Armed with flashlights, cameras, and teenage bravado, Sofia and her friends, Marco, Elena, and Tomas, plan to livestream their annual haunted trail. They want views, thrills, maybe a ghostly shadow or two for the channel. The night begins like a game. Laughter cuts through the fog. Someone plays a soundboard of fake sobs. The camera glitches, and the chat fills with emojis and jokes. But soon, the laughter fades. The air grows heavy, almost wet. The river hums with an unnatural vibration, like something breathing beneath it. Then, softly at first, a sound emerges, a woman's voice, carried by the wind. A cry, low, trembling, then louder, raw, human, filled with grief that pierces bone. Elena swears it's one of their pranks, but the look on Sofia's face silences her. "That's not fake," Sofia whispers. "I've heard that before." The cameras shake as they edge toward the water. The fog parts slowly, revealing the glint of moonlight on black water. And then, she appears. A woman, dressed in white, her gown trailing like smoke across the river's surface. Her hair drips, her skin is pale as the moon, and her face is hidden, until she lifts it toward the lens. The livestream flickers, static crawling across the feed. The chat goes wild. Someone types, "She's whispering something." Another, "Is that a name?" Sofia steps closer, breath trembling. The woman's lips move again, slow, deliberate. The audio cracks, and then, through the static, the voice comes clear. One word, "Sofia." The feed cuts to black. When dawn comes, rescuers find the phones shattered and soaked on the riverbank, but the live stream is still running, looping that final image. A woman in white, standing in the river, whispering the name of the girl who's now missing. The vanished streamers. The sun rises pale over Esperanza Falls, its light weak against the morning fog that clings to the town like breath that refuses to fade. By now, everyone has seen the video. The live stream that began as a prank has gone viral overnight. Millions of views, thousands of comments arguing whether it's real or staged. But the police have found no sign of the teenagers except for a few crushed phones, dripping wet and tangled in weeds along the riverbank. Only Sofia returns. She wakes up miles from the river, her clothes damp, her memory blank. The last thing she recalls is the sound of her own name, whispered by a voice not human. The townspeople swarm her with questions, but Sofia can't answer any of them. Where are her friends? Why does she smell like river water? And why, when she closes her eyes, does she hear crying? Not far away, but inside her head. At the sheriff's station, Sheriff Delgado watches the footage in silence. The screen flickers with static, frames stuttering as though something alive is crawling through the pixels. He frowns. The feed should have stopped when the phones were destroyed, he mutters. But it didn't. The live stream is still active. Even now, hours later, it continues to broadcast, showing scenes no one remembers recording. That evening, Sofia sits in her room, the glow of her laptop the only light. She replays the footage, her hands trembling. At first, it's familiar. Laughter, fog, the glint of water. But then the timeline extends beyond what she remembers. A new clip. The camera is pointed at the river, the angle different, lower, closer to the surface. Ripples move against the current. Something dark floats by, a shoe, a bracelet, the strap of a backpack. Then, faces begin to appear in the reflection of the water. Elena, Tomas, Marco, all three smiling faintly, eyes glassy, as though they're watching from beneath the surface. And then, the realization. Sofia's reflection is there too. But Marcos, the boy who always stood at her side, is missing. The camera tilts, panning toward the fog. For a moment, it catches movement, a shape in white drifting through the trees, her long hair dripping like ink. The sound of sobbing echoes softly. Sofia's laptop flickers. The screen distorts, freezing on her own terrified face reflected in the water. Then the image warps, and a whisper crawls through the speakers. "He's still with me." The live stream ends abruptly, not because the feed stops, but because her screen goes black, replaced by a single frozen frame. The river, empty, but faintly, beneath the surface, something moves, a pale hand brushing against the current. The town that tried to forget. Esperanza Falls moves through its days pretending nothing has changed. The bakery still opens at dawn, the church bells still ring at noon, and the school buses still rattle across cracked roads. But beneath the calm, fear hums like electricity in the air. The river has grown louder, its current stronger, its color darker. Some say it's the storm upstream. Others whisper that the water is mourning again. 3 teens are missing, and the only survivor won't speak about what she saw. Sofia sits on her front porch, clutching the cracked phone she found in the reeds, Marco's phone. The screen no longer works, but every night, just after midnight, it buzzes once. No caller ID, just static. Her aunt, Lucia, tells her to let it go. "You can't chase ghosts, mi amor," she says, her eyes soft with pity. But when Lucia mentions Sofia's mother, her tone shifts, cautious, heavy. "Your mama used to hear the cries too." Before she disappeared. That night, unable to sleep, Sofia drives to the sheriff's office. Sheriff Delgado greets her with the same weary look he's given her since she was a child. He's seen the video, seen the town's panic grow online. He's trying to contain it. He leans back in his chair. La Llorona's just an old story, he insists. Something to scare kids away from the river. Your mother believed in it too, and look what it did to her. But Sofia notices the tremor in his hand when he says it. As she leaves, she hears a door creak open down the hall. An old man in a faded priest's collar steps out, Father Ruiz. His eyes are sunken, his voice low. "You shouldn't be here after dark," he says. The river listens. Sofia freezes. "Do you believe in her?" La Llorona. He hesitates, then nods once. "Esperanza Falls wasn't always a town," he says. "Before the flood, this was a village, San Araceli. The people worshipped the river, said it was alive, that it could grant blessings or take them away. When it rose one night and drowned the village, they said it was punishment. But one woman cursed God, cursed the river, and swore she'd never stop searching for her lost children. They called her La Maldita Madre, the damned mother." His voice lowers to a whisper. "She never left." He glances at Sofia, his eyes sharpening. "Your mother came to me 10 years ago asking about the same story. I told her to stop digging." Sofia's heart pounds. What did she find? Father Ruiz looks away, guilt flickering across his face. Something she wasn't meant to see. He reaches into his coat and pulls out a weathered envelope, edges stained by time and water. On the front, written in her mother's handwriting, are the words, "Do not open until Halloween." That night, Sofia sits alone in her room, staring at the envelope. The ink has bled in places, as if soaked long ago. She runs her thumb over the seal, hearing faintly, impossibly, a woman's sob echoing from somewhere inside it. And for the first time, she wonders if her mother ever truly drowned, or if she was taken. The drowned village. The envelope trembles in Sofia's hands as she carefully opens it. Inside lies a faded, water-stained map, its edges brittle, lines winding like veins across the paper. Alongside it is a folded sheet of yellowed parchment, a lullaby written in the flowing, precise handwriting of her mother. Sofia unfolds the lyrics and reads aloud. "I weep for those unborn, for children never held. By river's hand I call you home. Through tears, my soul compelled." Her voice catches on the last line, and a chill rises along her spine. She feels the weight of the words, as if the paper itself hums with sorrow. By twilight, Sofia convinces Marco, Elena, and Tomas to follow the map to the riverbank. The fog has thickened, curling around their ankles like smoke. Every step feels heavier, every sound amplified. A splash in the water, a branch snapping, whispers riding the wind. The map leads them to a bend in the river few locals dare to approach. The current is sluggish here, almost black. Patches of reeds and sunken wood ripple with the motion of something unseen. Sofia kneels, tracing her fingers over a submerged stone barely visible beneath the surface. The river here is different, ancient, alive. Following the map further upstream, they come upon an old, half-submerged graveyard, its tombstones crooked and mottled with algae. The names carved decades ago are mostly unreadable, eroded by water and time. A single willow leans over the graves, its branches swaying though no wind blows. Sofia's breath catches. The air is thick with the scent of mud and decay, a perfume of drowned history. She whispers her mother's name, half in hope, half in fear. Elena shivers. This can't be real. How could a graveyard just be here? Marco steps closer to the water's edge, peering into a reflection that shimmers like liquid glass. The surface moves unnaturally, as if the river itself is breathing. Then, they see it. A freshly carved stone, its edges sharp and the letters stark. Sofia Morales, 2015. The group freezes. Sofia's knees buckle. Her mother's name, her mother's grave. And yet, she should not be here. The river laps at the tombstones as if insisting on their silence. Something beneath the surface ripples, not with fish, but with the sense of something watching, waiting, alive. Tomas swallows hard. She can't be here, he whispers, voice cracking. Sofia leans over the water. A reflection rises with hers, pale and shimmering. The river seems to distort reality, twisting the images of the living and the dead together. She hears soft crying, closer now, almost like a lullaby, but impossibly hollow. The voice of a woman both grieving and furious. The night deepens. Fog curls around them. Somewhere, from the river, a faint ripple spreads like a warning. They are not alone. And Sofia knows, with a certainty that chills her to the bone, that this river has not forgotten her family, and it never will. The possession begins. After discovering her mother's grave beneath the river, Sofia's nights grow restless. Sleep offers no refuge, only a parade of nightmares, each more vivid than the last. She dreams of drowning, of being pulled under by unseen hands, and wakes up soaked, tangled in her sheets, as if she had been submerged in water herself. It begins with small, almost imperceptible changes in her friends. Marco starts muttering in his sleep, his voice no longer his own. One moment it's calm and familiar, the next it shifts to a high, sorrowful wail, echoing like a woman crying from the river. At first, they laugh nervously, blaming stress. But the unease grows. Elena wakes screaming in the middle of the night, pointing to the corner of her room where shadows gather unnaturally, twisting toward her. Tomas finds wet footprints on the floor, his and Elena's, though neither of them left the bed. One night, Sofia wakes to a soft scraping sound behind her bedroom door. Heart pounding, she opens it to find Marco, sleepwalking, his eyes glassy. In his hands is a small pocket knife. He moves toward the wall, tracing a message in trembling scratches. She doesn't want her children, she wants their mothers. Sofia gasps. "Marco, stop," she cries, but he doesn't hear her. His lips whisper a lullaby from the envelope, barely audible, the same one written by her mother. The walls seem to pulse with the sound, echoing through the house. As the scratches etch themselves deeper into the plaster, the room grows colder. A thin mist rises from the floorboards, curling around Marco's legs. Sofia steps closer, reaching for him, and the air tightens, as if the room itself resists her touch. She hears it then, not Marco's voice, not her own heartbeat, but the faint, agonized cry of La Llorona, somewhere deep beneath the floor, somewhere in the river, and now inside their home. The next day, the friends meet by the river, trying to shake off the terror of the night. But even in daylight, Marco's eyes glint unnaturally, pale under the sun. His lips move silently, mouthing words that only Sofia recognizes. The lullaby, now twisting into something darker. She notices a wet streak along his arm, though it's dry by every logical measure. His shadow stretches longer than it should, bending toward the river, as if the water itself is claiming him. Tomas whispers, "It's like she's inside him." Sofia swallows hard. realizing the terrifying truth. La Llorona isn't just haunting the river anymore. She's possessing the living, and she's chosen Marco first. As night falls, the fog returns heavier than before. From the darkness, a faint, dripping figure in white rises from the riverbank. Her face is still obscured, but her sobs carry a new, deliberate rhythm. Almost human, almost inviting. Sofia's blood runs cold. She knows. She knows now that the curse has begun in earnest, and there may be no turning back. The curse of bloodlines. The town of Esperanza Falls wakes to a chill that feels wrong for late October. The river runs darker than usual, sluggish, almost viscous. Windows are frosted, and fog clings to the streets like fingers. Inside her room, Sofia pores over old newspaper clippings, trying to make sense of the disappearances that have haunted her town for decades. She discovers a pattern that makes her stomach tighten. Every woman who vanished was descended from the villagers who drowned when San Araceli was flooded. Her pulse quickens as she flips the pages. Her mother's name appears again and again, along with a handful of other women, their photos grainy, their faces solemn. It isn't random. The realization hits her like ice water. La Llorona isn't hunting strangers. She's hunting bloodlines. The river doesn't call to just anyone. It calls to the descendants of the woman she once was, trying to reclaim her lost lineage through possession and terror. That evening, Sofia gathers Marco, Elena, and Tomas at the riverbank to confront the growing fear. The air is thick, almost oppressive, and the river hums with its own low, mournful sound. Marco shivers, his eyes distant. "I keep hearing her," he admits, voice trembling. "Not outside, inside me. She's whispering." Elena grips his arm. "You have to fight it, Marco. You're stronger than her." But Sofia knows better. She has seen the way the water twists reality, how it claimed her mother. The whispers aren't just suggestions. They're instructions from something that has been waiting for decades, learning, watching, waiting for the right blood to return. Sofia takes a deep breath and speaks the name of her mother aloud, as if invoking a memory. "Mama." The river responds. A sudden ripple spreads across its black surface, spiraling outward as if aware of her words. The willow above them groans, its branches swaying despite the absence of wind. And then they see it, a pale, dripping figure standing knee-deep in the river. Its head tilts towards Sofia, as if acknowledging her. The sobs are softer now, intimate, almost human, but there is no mercy in them. Tomas steps back, panic rising. "It wants us, our blood." Sofia's mind races. Her family's history, the missing women, the drowned village, all of it is connected. La Llorona doesn't just take lives. She claims families, stretching her grief and fury across generations. As night falls, the fog thickens, pressing against their skin, the river whispering their names. Sofia knows with grim certainty, unless they uncover a way to stop it, La Llorona's curse won't end with this Halloween. And the first sign of possession is already moving through Marco, subtle but unmistakable. A flicker in his eyes, a shiver in his voice, a pull toward the river that none of them can resist. The lullaby of the dead. The fog had grown almost sentient by now, curling through the streets of Esperanza Falls like smoke from a fire long extinguished. Every shadow seemed to whisper secrets Sofia didn't want to hear. At home, she clutched the faded lullaby from her mother, the paper brittle but humming with a strange, almost palpable energy. She knew she needed answers. There was only one person who might understand the true danger she and her friends faced, Father Ruiz. She arrived at the old church just before dusk. The wooden doors creaked under her touch, as if protesting her entry. Inside, the air was damp and scented with incense long since burned. Father Ruiz stood behind the altar, hunched, clutching a rosary that clicked rhythmically against the pew. Sofia stepped forward, voice tight. "Father, the lullaby. What does it really do?" He studied her for a long moment, eyes heavy with sorrow. "It is not a song to save you," he said finally. "It is a summoning, a hymn meant to open the veil between the living and the dead, to bring her closer. That lullaby was written to call La Llorona, not to banish her." Sofia felt the air shift. The candle flames flickered violently. She instinctively clutched the parchment. "Then what do I do?" Ruiz shook his head. "You must be careful. Even humming the melody, even accidentally, can invite her into the world of the living. That night, curiosity outweighed caution. Alone by the riverbank, Sofia hummed the lullaby softly, thinking she could test its power without consequence. The water rippled, slowly, then faster. The fog thickened, curling around her ankles like cold fingers. And then she saw it. Llorona's reflection, pale and dripping, appeared in the black river. Her eyes glowed faintly, her lips twisted into a smile that was both mournful and terrifying. The river's surface shimmered unnaturally, her image perfectly mirrored even as Sofia's reflection wavered. Sofia's heart raced. She stumbled backward, but the lullaby slipped out of her lips again, unwillingly, hypnotic in its cadence. From the river, a soft, dripping step echoed. One step, then another, as if the water itself had become solid under the ghostly figure. Llorona's smile widened. She raised a hand towards Sofia, pale fingers glinting wetly in the moonlight. Sofia tried to turn away, but she felt a cold pull, not from the river, but from within herself. The lullaby had tethered her to the weeping woman. For the first time, Sofia understood the terrifying truth. Llorona could no longer be kept at bay. She had crossed the threshold from legend into reality. And now, her attention was focused entirely on Sofia. The river whispered, the fog whispered, and through it all, that soft, sorrowful, horrifying smile remained, beckoning her closer. The river of tears. Esperanza Falls no longer feels like a town. It feels like a place caught between worlds, a borderland suspended in fog and fear. By dawn, the streets are slick with rain that no one remembers beginning, and puddles ripple unnaturally as though the river itself is creeping into the town. Windows weep condensation, mirrors drip with water streaks that form fleeting, sorrowful faces. The air is thick with the smell of wet earth and decay, carrying the faint, unrelenting sobs of a woman who has not forgotten. Sofia walks cautiously through the streets, clutching the worn lullaby, her breath fogging in the chill. Each step is mirrored in the puddles, but her reflection flickers unnaturally, distorting into something she does not recognize. A pale, weeping woman standing behind her. She is not alone. In the sheriff's office, Sheriff Delgado works late, trying to piece together the disappearances and escalating hysteria. Papers lie in disarray, phones sit dead, and the CCTV monitors flicker with static. He pauses, frowning. A wet handprint appears on the glass, as if pressed from the inside. From the office below, muffled sobs echo through the floorboards. He descends the stairs, drawn by instinct. But when he reaches the bottom, the door slams behind him. The screens reveal a shocking image, his own office, empty. And then, a pale figure standing over his desk. The officer freezes. The figure bends slightly, and Sofia's mother's face emerges, pale, dripping, her eyes hollow yet mournful. She raises her hands, and the water spreads across the floor like a tide. By the time the townspeople realize something is wrong, the flood has reached the streets, streams twisting through homes and shops. Llorona's cries echo from every drain, every pipe, every stagnant puddle. The river is no longer contained. It is everywhere. Sofia races toward the center of town. Panic and confusion grip the residents as they try to flee the rising water, but the current moves unnaturally, bending around obstacles, following a purpose. Shadows twist and contort in the streetlights, stretching toward those who dare to resist. And then they find Sheriff Delgado, lifeless, drenched, locked inside his office. Security footage captures the impossible. Sofia's mother, standing over him, weeping, though she is supposed to be dead. Her tears mix with the river, flowing outward, claiming everything in their path. Sofia's knees buckle as the water rises around her. The lullaby slips from her hands, carried by the river like a warning. The town is drowning, not just in water, but in sorrow, grief, and a vengeance that has waited for centuries. In that moment, Sofia realizes Llorona has escalated. She is no longer a cry from the riverbank. She is the river itself, and she has begun taking everything she once lost, one town at a time. The mother's bargain. The rain hasn't stopped for hours. Streets shimmer under the dim glow of streetlights, reflecting the river that has now spilled into every corner of Esperanza Falls. The town is a labyrinth of water, fog, and whispered cries. Sofia moves cautiously through the streets, clutching the worn lullaby to her chest. Each step feels heavier than the last, the weight of history and fear pressing down on her. The sobs are no longer distant. They echo from within, vibrating through the walls, the puddles, even through her own bones. Her heart skips as a figure emerges from the fog. Pale, half solid, half ghostly, it's her mother. The face she has dreamed about for a decade stares at her, dripping with river water, eyes hollow yet filled with infinite sorrow. "Mama," Sofia whispers, tears blurring her vision. Her mother raises a trembling hand, pointing toward the river. "I tried to stop it, Sofia. I tried to protect you. 10 years ago, I made a bargain." Sofia's voice catches. "A bargain? With her?" Her mother nods slowly. "La Llorona is not bound by life or death. I offered myself as her vessel, to delay the curse, to keep it from taking you, from taking the town. But my time is ending. The debt comes due." The river ripples violently, as if responding, its black waters now reaching Sofia's knees. Her mother steps closer, spectral and dripping, her form wavering between life and death. "You must finish what I began," she pleads, voice breaking. "Sing the lullaby again. Take my place, or the town. Everything you love will be lost forever." Sofia shakes her head, fear and grief colliding. "No, I won't let you. I won't let her have me." But La Llorona does not wait for consent. The fog thickens, curling around Sofia like coiling snakes. Her mother's face twists in sorrow, anguish, and warning, a reflection of the impossible choice before her. "You do not understand, Sofia," her mother whispers. "I saved you once, now it is your turn. If you do not sing, if you do not offer yourself, she will claim everyone. The river will rise until nothing is left." Lightning flashes across the sky, illuminating the town swallowed by water. La Llorona's wails echo from every corner, louder than ever, a chorus of grief and fury. Sofia stands frozen, the lullaby trembling in her hands. She can feel the pull of the river, the insistence of something ancient and terrible. Her mother's form drifts closer, pleading, fading, warning, a half-living, half-ghostly figure tethered to the world only by sorrow and obligation. And in that moment, Sofia realizes the cruel truth. Her mother's bargain did not end the curse. It only delayed it. Now, the choice, sacrifice or annihilation, falls entirely on her shoulders. The river flows from her tears. Midnight falls over Esperanza Falls, heavier than any darkness the town has known. The river, swollen beyond its banks, moves like a living thing, black waters curling through streets, flooding homes, swallowing familiar landmarks. La Llorona's cries ripple through the fog, echoing from every drain, every mirror, every puddle. Sofia stands at the riverbank, the lullaby clutched in trembling hands. Her mother, pale and half-ghostly, hovers beside her, dripping water onto the muddy shore. The choice is clear, to sing or to resist. Her mother's voice is soft, broken. "Sofia, you must finish this. Take my place, or all will be lost." Sofia closes her eyes. The tears of the river lap at her ankles, and in the black reflection she sees countless faces, her friends, her neighbors, her ancestors, all watching, all waiting. The lullaby calls to her, but she knows the truth now. The words her mother wrote were never meant to save. They were meant to summon. Heart pounding, Sofia begins to hum. The notes tremble, carried on the wind, rising above the cries of the river. But then, as the final verse approaches, she changes it, reshaping the song from a call into a binding. From tears to time, from grief to grave, I claim the weeping, the lost, the brave. No longer shall you wander free. The river flows from me. The air tightens around her. La Llorona's form freezes in the water, her face contorted with fury and disbelief. The river churns violently, black waves lashing out, but Sofia's voice does not falter. With a final note, the lullaby dies in the air, and a silence heavier than any storm falls. The river's rage ebbs, flowing calmly back into its banks. La Llorona's cries fade, her form dissolving into mist. Sofia collapses, exhausted, water dripping from her hair, the town eerily still around her. The river is calm, for now. Final twist. A year later, Halloween night returns. The town has returned to its uneasy normalcy, but the legend is far from over. Somewhere in Esperanza Falls, a live stream begins automatically. The camera flickers, showing the river under the silver glow of a full moon. And there she is, Sofia, dressed in white, knee-deep in the water, her head bowed, weeping silently. The town below is oblivious. The screen pans closer, and the chilling truth becomes clear. The river does not merely reflect sorrow. It flows from her tears. La Llorona has not been defeated. She has been reborn through Sofia, and the cycle begins anew. The river whispers, and the night listens.